Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40k Universe. I am your host, Gershwin, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we talk about Traitor Titan Legions as we get into the Tiger Eyes. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40k content every single day, and if you have any suggestions, comment down below. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts on the Tiger Eyes Titan Legion. The Legio Pharaians, also known as the Tiger Eyes, is a traitor titan legion of the Dark Mechanicus that repudiated its oath to the Emperor of Mankind and followed the War Master Horus into the service of the ruinous powers during the Horus Heresy. The colors of the Tiger Eyes Legion are orange and black, and their titans are often decorated with black flames. The Tiger Eyes Legion badge is a tiger's eye with an orange iris and eyeball centered on an orange diamond shape, on top of a decorative circle located within the cog symbol of an opus machina on a field of black. The Titan engines of the Legio Pharaians, perhaps because of the unique arts of the Magi of their homeworld, were always regarded as possessing strangely bestial machine spirits, alien from those of other Legos, but still within the sanctified rites of the Mechanicum. Divisio Militaris records that exist for the latter years of the Great Crusade rate the Legio Pharaians as a fully operational Titan Legion of the second rank. The Legio was rated with an estimated 110 to 140 God Machines in active service at the time of the outbreak of the Horus Heresy. However, this may have underestimated the number of Titans in service with the Legio, which may have ranked as high as 170 various classes and types. The principal strength of the Tiger Eyes was split between two divergent classes, the Mars-patterned Warlord and the Mars-patterned Warhound. During the later Great Crusade, the mid-range battle titans, such as the Reaver and Carnivore, were added in small numbers to expand the Legio's order of battle and strategic reach, while it was also known to favor the use of idiosyncratic light-intermediate sub-patterns developed locally, known as the Reviler. This pattern was designed to operate mainly as a mobile Inferno cannon platform, and replace the use of the heavier Knight classes in the Legion's core of retainers. In terms of the heaviest Titan units, it is not believed that the Legio Pharaians possess any Imperator-class Titans, although it did utilize at least 5 adapted Deathbringer Warlords, which served as the Legio's heaviest assault units. The Legio Pharaians owed its genesis and its destiny to the Forge World of Enchiladion, and the unceasing cycle of war, strife, and invasion that had wrecked it before it was liberated by the forces of the Great Crusade. Founded by a Mechanicum sleeper arc during the Age of Strife, on a world rich with an abundance of rare mineral resources, as well as the necessary organic compounds for sustaining a biosphere, Enchiladion ought to have offered a perfect locale to found a Forge World, but the same stable warp currents that had succeeded in carrying the Mechanicum to the world were, as time progressed, to bring a host of less welcome voyagers. Records of its founding centuries remain fragmentary, but it seems certain that alongside the vast work of macro construction and geoforming the Mechanicum colonists undertook, conflict and battle were nearly constant against a host of invaders. As a result, the Mechanicum, separated by vast distance from Mars, evolved into a distinctive and highly warlike faction, and one that was seldom united, as individual Forge Fanes had to often look to their own defense and survival. Waves of Xeno invasion spurred unusual avenues of technological development, and the creation of vast, fortified cities, which dominated and defended the richest mineral seams and algae-rich seas, while hidden Forge Fanes were sunk kilometers beneath the planet's crust. The Mechanicum also adapted to the need to acquire additional human stock by raiding the feral populations of the world, which brought echoes of barbarous cultures that had begun to infect the increasingly schismatic machine cult. Throughout this long and savage history, the Legio Pharaians formed the principal military force of the ruling Archmagos, known as the Preceptor General. Its Titans served as the avatar of her will. No resource was spared in the Titan Legion's maintenance, and where possible, due to the lulls in the fighting, the expansion of its fighting strength. Their more common nickname, the Tiger Eyes, also stemmed from their early period as a corruption of the name given to them by the feral tribes of the nearby world of Hamardu, to whom the Titans truly were divine and terrible beings, come to reap a sacrifice of the young and the strong to serve in the palace of the gods. Unlike some garrisoning Titan legions before the Great Crusade, the Legio Pharaians did not stand vigil as enforcers for petty empires of the machine god servants, but rather fought an unceasing war against a host of foes. For centuries, the Legal Foraeans unleashed their wrath against invading hordes of Orc marauders, spiteful raids of Eldar corsairs, scavenging Talarian warpacks, and the colossal horrors of meteor-brought carnoplasm infestations from the abyssal reefs. Such ceaseless conflict took their toll, both on the planet itself and the Legal Foraeans who defended it. Around 50 standard years before the Great Crusade would finally reach the planet, after a particularly brutal series of incursions and raids, the Tagmata Omnissium, the feudal order upon which the defense and military hierarchy of the Forge World of the Mechanicum is based, finally broke down. In the ensuing strife, the Preceptor General of the planet was assassinated, and the Forge World split into warring or isolationist factions. Stripped of central control or coordination, it laid it open to invasion and the devastation which followed. By the time the Great Crusade's advanced elements reached the planet, it was a global battleground, disputed by a dozen different armies, Mechanicum, Renegade, and Xenos, unleashing atomic fire and yet more savage weapons upon each other. During this time, overwhelmed and vastly outnumbered, the Tiger Eyes refused to retreat or retrench, and shattered its blade on foes uncounted until it became only a shadow of its former might, reduced to defending the last forge vein of its dead regent. After Imperial contact, Mars was determined to bring the planet into the fold of the Imperium, but the Great Crusade was at that time engaged in major battles on a variety of fronts, and much of the Mechanicum's military forces were tied up in an ongoing campaign. It instead fell to the forces of the 4th Legion, the Iron Warriors, to bear the brunt of the liberation campaign, with such supporting elements of the Legio Mortis and the Martian Skitarii and Secutarii forces as could be spared to aid it. The resulting campaign was to prove the bloodiest in the Legion's history to that point, but after 2 solar years of guerrilla warfare, the planet joined the Imperium. In the aftermath, the lost forges and fortress citadels were quickly reclaimed and repaired by the now ruling Imperium-backed Mechanicum faction. Warship squadrons, now permanently based in the system, gave the Forge World respite from the attack for the first time, and the vast mineral wealth and production capabilities of the planet were quickly put into action to fuel the ever-expanding Great Crusade. Oaths of loyalty and debts of blood to the liberators were affirmed, although in this, Mars and the Legio Mortis were judged by the planet's Mechanicum to be saviors rather than the 4th Legion, who had expended so many lives in the war. As a key part of repaying this debt, the Titan Legion was quickly reconstituted and rearmed, with a deep Titan forge beneath the planet's surface, put to continuous operation to fuel a second birth for the Titan Legion. Traveling beyond their sector, the Legal Foraeans pursued conflict with an aggressive fervor and tempo of battle seldom matched by any other Titan Legion of the period, splitting their forces into demi-legos and strike groups operating alongside numerous Imperial expeditionary fleets and extermination forces. Throughout this period, aside from abiding allegiances with the Legio Mortis, the Legio cultivated neither friendships nor overt feuds with the rest of the Collegia Titanica, many of which came to regard them, nevertheless, as unpredictable and primitivistic. Feeding into this reputation, the Tiger Eyes were well reputed for their disdain of sustained bombardments or other standoff tactics, preferring instead mobile, close-range firefights, melee combat, rapid flanking attacks, and when confronting superior forces, hit-and-run tactics carried out at the very limits of the reactor capability of their Titans to maintain. It is said that some Tiger Eye Princeps were willing to disengage or reduce their void shields in order to gain extra speed to employ these tactics, something that would be a complete anathema to the standard practices of the Collegia Titanica. One demonstration of this willingness to do battle in any theater by the Legio Foraeans was that they allowed even single Titans and their support groups to split from their central command. This wide-ranging deployment pattern and the generations of warfare on their home world made the Legio Foraeans one of the most battle-hardened and adaptable of the Titan legions, and contributed to their inviolable reputation. However, willingness to do battle, even against staggering odds, and willingness to follow orders from outside the Mechanicum, or indeed to follow ordained strategies, proved to not be the same as far as the Tiger Eyes were concerned, as many theater commanders found to their dismay. Rumors also ran rife of strange pre- and post-battle rituals conducted by their Titan princeps and their crews, like some horrible mixtures of Omnissiah machine rites and the savage tomatic rituals of a feral animal cult. But given the invaluable battlefield work of the Tiger Eyes, and the unfamiliarity of most observers with the inner workings of the Mechanicum, many such rumors were dismissed or deliberately ignored. When the wars of the Horus Heresy broke out, it was revealed immediately that the legal Pharaians had sided with the War Master Horus, as did both the Fabricator General of Mars and the Legio Mortis. It is clear in hindsight that the Tiger Eyes knew of the planned treachery beforehand, and were a key and willing part of the War Master's early battlefield plans and deployment from the start, such as the dispatch of a demi-legio of the Tiger Eyes to the Par-Mar assault force before blood had yet spilled on Isfahan V. Quickly too would the dark rites of the Legio blossom into the twisted arcana of what would become known as the Dark Mechanicum in later years. Their homeworld of Incaldion, through declaring the traitor's cause, fell quickly into a bloody civil war of its own, the absence of the Legio having stripped its new Preceptor General's principal agency of overmatching power against its rivals. And those were 40 facts on the Tiger Eyes Titan Legion. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it showed you that a Traitor Titan Legion doesn't necessarily have to show all the corruption of chaos. Same thing with Imperial Knight houses. So if you buy an Imperial Knight, or if you go all out and you buy a Titan, you don't necessarily have to add too much to the actual model to make it look corrupt. Like, you can buy a Reaver class Titan and you're fine, but if you bought any other type of Titan, really just the paint job, making it look kind of chaotic would be fine, kind of like rusty and stuff like that would be fine. You don't necessarily have to add augmentations to its like shields, or not shields, but it's like just its layout. It doesn't have to look nurgly or spiky or anything like that. Just keep that in mind, because a lot of these Traitor Titan Legions did so, and they were just kind of like just bad but not chaotic, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys have any other suggestions, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. This is Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate signing out.